Between 1941 and 1945, the world witnessed something so horrific, so unimaginable, that even now, decades later, humanity still struggles to comprehend it. This is the story of the Holocaust, the murder of 6 million Jews and millions of others by the Nazi regime. Germany was broken after World War I. Poverty, humiliation, and anger filled the streets. In that chaos rose one man, Adolf Hitler, who promised glory and blamed the Jews for Germany's suffering. It began with words, then laws, then death. From 1933 onward, Jews were no longer citizens. They were targets. The Nuremberg laws stripped away their rights, their businesses, their dignity. Friends became strangers. Neighbors turned away. And the world stayed silent. In cities across Europe, Jews were rounded up and forced into ghettos, walled-off prisons filled with hunger, disease, and despair. Still, they clung to hope, believing the world could not allow worse to come. But worse was coming. In 1941, the Nazi regime made its ultimate decision, the final solution to the Jewish question. No more ghettos. No more deportations. This was a plan to erase an entire people, every man, woman, and child. They called them camps, but they were factories of death. Auschwitz, Treblinka, Sobibor, Majdanek. People were told they were going to take a shower and were instead led into gas chambers. Children cried for their mothers, and within minutes, silence. The air filled with ashes as the sky darkened over Europe. Yet, even in hell, there was courage. In 1943, the Jews of Warsaw rose against their captors, starving, outgunned, but unbroken. Others risked everything to save lives, like Oskar Schindler, who sheltered over 1,000 Jews. These were sparks of light in endless darkness. When Allied forces entered the camps in 1945, they found the unimaginable, mountains of bodies and survivors barely alive. They had seen the face of evil and the cost of silence. The world swore it would never happen again. At Nuremberg, Nazi leaders faced justice for crimes against humanity. The words never again became humanity's vow, to remember, to speak, to prevent. The Holocaust did not begin with gas chambers. It began with words, with hate, with silence, with indifference. If we forget, we risk repeating it. To remember is to protect the future, resistance and survival. Despite impossible odds, some Jews fought back. The Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, 1943, saw starving men and women take up arms against Nazi troops. Others escaped hid in forests or were sheltered by brave non-Jewish families who risked their lives to save them, such as Oskar Schindler and Irina Sendler. A few survived, but most did not. Liberation. As Allied forces advanced in 1945, they discovered the camps. What they found shocked the world. Piles of corpses, survivors barely alive, and the remains of an entire civilization destroyed. The word Holocaust became synonymous with unimaginable horror. Aftermath and legacy. When the war ended, the full scale of the genocide became clear. 6 million Jews murdered, 2/3 of Europe's Jewish population. Millions of others persecuted or killed. The Nuremberg trials, 1945 to 46, held Nazi leaders accountable for crimes against humanity. The Holocaust led to a global vow: never again. It also inspired the creation of the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and later, the State of Israel, 1948, as a homeland for survivors. Why it must be remembered. The Holocaust is not just history. It's a warning. It shows how fear and hate can turn ordinary people into killers, how silence enables evil, and how fragile civilization can be. To remember the Holocaust is to guard against the forces of intolerance and denial that still exist today. Famous quote, "For the dead and the living, we must bear witness." Elie Wies, Holocaust survivor and Nobel laureate. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more true crime stories.